All right, hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Today, our topic is about the news. So, if you are not interested in politics, maybe this is not your topic. However, our topic, yes, it's about politics and war, uh, but it is about religion at the same time. And what we will do today, we will try to explain to you what's going on in Libya. Every one of us, he follow the news, depend where he live mostly, and in the language he understand. So those who speak Arabic, they hear it in Arabic, those who speak English in English, etc. But at the end of the day, all the news agencies, they don't really share with you any news except an agenda. And in front of me, I have in Twitter, if you see in the screen, this is the post from the US Embassy in Libya. USA Embassy in Libya a few years ago was stormed by terrorists and in the city of Tripoli, and the ambassador was killed and a few of his bodyguards. And since then, USA did really nothing. They capture one guy and they claim he is the one who killed or behind the attack. But the attack launched by hundreds of people, but yet you capture one, which is sound fishy and weird. However, if we look at this news now, USA is sound like they are against the offensive attack by Khalifa Haftar. The second I see such a statement, that's mean USA is not really supporting the officer, the high officer in the Libyan army, Haftar. And here I have a lot of questions or question marks about this. Haftar simply is fighting the Muslims Brotherhood. His attack, they say to you there is a government, etc. This is always a garbage. The government in Tripoli is sponsored by Qatar and it is a Muslim Brotherhood. So why Trump is protecting the Muslims Brotherhood? You see, before we said Obama is protecting the Muslim Brotherhood because he's a Muslim and he is one of them. Trump, is he a Muslim? No. So why he is protecting the Muslim Brotherhood? If what they are posting there is true, which means really USA is against the attack, that's obvious mean that Trump is trying to protect the Muslim Brotherhood in Tripoli. And if this is true, that means Trump is working for Qatar now. But if this is just a statement, in many politics, it's just a politics, it's mean nothing. So we will see really USA what they will do regarding this war. If you go and see in the Western news agencies, you will see all of them attacking the big officer, which is Haftar. I will put his picture so you can see it. This is New York Times. Libya is entering another civil war. America cannot stop it. The Trump administration must act fast to stop the escalation conflict in Libya, which will will increase the ongoing effort for peace settlement and the strengthen the Islamic State. The fact is the opposite. The fact, this war, if the guy Haftar, if he won, it is against the Islamic State and it's going to have peace in Libya. So why Western medias they are saying what they are saying? Why Western media always they present to us false news and false stories? Simply because most of them they are flooded by the money of Qatar. Qatar bought the major, not necessarily bought them as shares, but they bought their opinion. Everybody worked for Qatar. If you go and read all the news in Europe, you will find that all of them they are copy paste, all of them they are the same, attacking this person who he is sponsored by Emirat, by Saudi Arabia, by Egypt. And why they sponsored him? Because he is fighting the Muslims Brotherhood. So here the question is, why New York Times, why the Daily Telegraph, why all Western news agencies they always defend the Muslims Brotherhood when all of us we knew they are one of the biggest terrorist organization in the world? In case you don't remember, the one who killed the president of Sadat which is the one who signed the peace agreement with Israel, it was the Muslims Brotherhood. The one who burned and killed many Christians in Egypt just a few years ago during the revolution against the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, it was Muslim Brotherhood. So what is behind this? Why always Western medias they back up the terrorist, especially in this case the Muslims Brotherhood? The answer is very simple. It is money. It is all about money. Give us money, we will write whatever you want, and we will make the criminal victim and the victim a criminal. So now this guy Haftar, if we go and search in the news, this is his picture. Haftar is an ex-general, and actually he's still a big general in the Libyan army, who is attacking Tripoli to free it from the Muslims Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood, they have full control of the city, of the government, of the army, of the president, of everything. They are. The whole city is under their command. When Hillary Clinton many years ago, before the ambassador of USA to be killed, she met one official in all of the country of Libya, and that was a Muslim Brotherhood leader. He was actually the head of the Muslim Brotherhood in Libya. So in the time of Obama, all of us, we knew that Obama and Hillary Clinton, they are in bed with Muslim Brotherhood. Today we have a Trump. Is a Trump going to be in bed with the Muslim Brotherhood? For me, I will not be surprised if he do so, because you know, this guy, he do business. This guy, he do business. If the Qatari they pay more, he will go with the Qatari. If the Emirati they pay more, he will go with the Emirati. It's an auction. It's not about what's right and what's wrong. And based on what I see here from the embassy of USA, look what they say. The United States oppose the military offensive by Khalifa Haftar. Now I can say maybe because the embassy exists now under the Muslim Brotherhood control, so they have to say something which will not cause let us say an attack on them. Maybe we will see, because the city now is under the control of the Muslim Brotherhood still. But is that going to stay the opinion of USA, or is going to change? We do not know. And I hope Trump is not a potato who is for sale and whoever pay him more. That will make me really lose a lot of respect to him. So this guy is attacking the capital in order to free it from the Muslim Brotherhood. And here you will notice Al Jazeera TV, which is supporting the enemy of this guy, which means they are supporting the Muslim Brotherhood as usual. They are posting for you thousands of pictures of thousands of African slaves who they are enslaved by the Muslim Brotherhood. But if you read the title, look what the title says: detained refugee terrified as he clashes near Tripoli rage. The fact those detainees, we need to ask them why you detain them anyway. Why they are healed, or they are jailed in Libya? Simply they are slaves. You can go and watch. There's tons of videos and tons of articles speaking about in Libya they are enslaving those people, and they are in the hand of the Muslim Brotherhood. Very horrible. But look what the news, what Al Jazeera title is. The title is detained refugee terrified, which means they want to make you believe that the guy who attacked Tripoli is doing a horrible job. This is not right. Look, even the refugees, so they can earn more support against him. Let us see. Air Force, etc. Here, like they are reporting the attacks. The overall situation remains fluid, would contain information and clashes. Okay. So here you see in this map, supposedly what is occupied by the General Khalifa Haftar. And actually, for me, I wish that he will win. I wish he will win, because this guy is literally, really, he is fighting terrorists. Now I do not know in the future if he will be a terrorist or not, but what I know that he is fighting the Muslim Brotherhood. Uh, all this news. Here, the force of the Haftar, they occupy the airport which belong to the city, so they take over it, and this is all is in Twitter, you know. Uh, Reuters news: UN backed Libya government. As you see, United Nations support Libya government. When you see United Nations supporting someone, that's mean he is evil. As simple as that. The second you see United Nations supporting somebody, it's mean he is a scumbag. That's it. They backed Libya government. Libya government who? That is the Muslim Brotherhood. I mean, those became government. Who is the one who elected them? Nobody. Did they have election and the people they vote for him and they became government? Nobody. So how the Western approved them to be government? No, we do not know. Except that obviously Qatar paid a lot of money. In order to be a government, shouldn't you have election in the whole country? Since Libya president, the ex-president was killed, there's no election, there's no security, the country is divided. So how those became government? Who made them government? Simply the money of Qatar. They are Muslim Brotherhood. Behind them there's Qatar and Turkey. Turkey raises concern over tension in Libya, and actually Turkey now they are involving in the war in the ground, and I will not be surprised if Turkey and Qatar they send their airplanes to attack the caliphate. The guy, his name is Khalifa. By the way, Khalifa mean caliphate too, but doesn't mean he is the Muslim caliphate. Uh, so uh, always learn something about the news. If you want to know really who is behind somebody, read his articles and he support who. Like, you know, New York Times is an American newspaper, is not really Qatar newspaper. But when you see in New York Times attacking this guy, it's mean they sponsor the Muslim Brotherhood. As simple as that. Always, if you want to understand who is behind who stands for who is supporting who, see the article about what, and then you will know how and where they stand. But until now, I could not find one Western newspaper taking a side with this guy Haftar, because simply all of them, obviously, they are paid by Qatar. This guy now, he have support only from a few countries, which like Egypt, Emirat, Saudi Arabia. We with love from the Khalifa Haftar led Libya National Army to the capital Tripoli, and like somebody here is making like an airplane in the sky with love to this guy. Okay, here you will notice, see, uh, uh, how some people they give you their own ideas, and how the Western always is to support the wrong person. Uh, Look here, many Libyan tweets commenting in how Saudi and UAE accounts with large following and associate boots are within the ongoing conflict in the Western Libya with the propaganda fake news. So here this guy, obviously his name is Wolfram Lancher. I don't know who is this guy. He have 5,000 followers. Obviously he is taking the side of the Muslim Brotherhood. Here I go again, he is doing the same. Footage showing US Africa Command military. Okay. And this is the guy who is leading this attack on the Muslim Brotherhood, as you see him. All right. So this is how you know the word, how the word is made this day. You want to know who is behind Muslim Brotherhood? Go and read their articles. You want to know who is against them? Go and see who support this guy. The one who support this guy, obviously, he is not sponsoring Muslim Brotherhood. The one who is against him, obviously, he is supporting Muslim Brotherhood. As simple as that. You do not need to do investigation to find like who paid who. It is very clear. This war have nothing to do. Both of them, they are not legitimate when it's come to government, because simply this guy was a general in the army. Yes, the army is still there, and he was. This is his job. But the government, but both of them, they are not government. He is an army. He is a general. But the other government, which is approved by the Western, have nothing to do with any government. Nobody made them a government. There's no election, there's no vote, there's no country. The country is divided. There is militant in every city, and yet the Western, they name them as government. Why? Because Qatar and Turkey sponsor them. So this fight in Libya is not a fight between people in Libya. This is international fight between Turkey and Qatar and the Muslim Brotherhood in the world, using all their influence, and they have a lot of influence in Europe, everywhere, and the Saudi and Emirat and Bahrain and Egypt. Who's going to win? We do not know. If you ask me, I hope that this guy, he will win. Oh yeah, Turkey have a big influence. All the weapon the Muslim Brotherhood they have in Libya is bought either by Turkey or by Qatar. Qatar purchase it, the delivery goes to Libya, which means, because you know, when you are a country, you are allowed to purchase weapon, including heavy duty weapon. You cannot purchase weapon if you are a militant. Now Libya, you know, or this little tiny government in a little city, they don't have really that power to purchase. I mean, even their money is not too much, because the oil is not all, like the oil is scattered all over, and militant are controlling it. So how they can afford to buy it is the money of Qatar. Even Turkey, you know, if you go and check Turkey, almost 20% of the weapon Turkey own is purchased by Qatar. Why? Because Turkey is a Muslim Brotherhood, Erdogan is a Muslim Brotherhood, and Qatar is the money backed to sponsor Turkey, and Turkey they sponsor in return Qatar. So the Saudi and the Emirat and Egypt, they will not invade Qatar. So all of those are the gang of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they sponsor each other in this war. All right. So the one who win this war, if this guy he won this war, the Muslim Brotherhood existence in Africa is history. That's it. They are kicked out from Saudi Arabia, they are kicked out from Emirat, they are kicked out from Bahrain, they are kicked out from Egypt, and now they are going to be kicked out from the last base for them. So which means the only place for them is Turkey, and that's it. And Erdogan look like he is not going to live long. He is losing the ground everywhere. Economy of Turkey is collapsing. The money of Qatar will not make him survive for long, because there is no way Qatar, even if it's a very rich country, can make a country like Turkey survive. You see, when you have a huge population, giving them a bunch of billion dollars still will not make the country survive, because that will not even be the cost of living for a few weeks in such a country. So if this guy he won the war, that is the biggest disaster for the Muslim Brotherhood after losing Egypt. And then they will be worried about what is next. You see, Qatar, the reason Qatar they want to control Libya, let us open the map again. We will open for you the map. All right. So this is Libya, as you see. Libya has really a good amount of gas. And when we talk about gas, we are talking about the propane or natural gas. Qatar, number one income for them is the same natural gas. So if the Muslim Brotherhood took over Libya, which have a very small population, a population almost of 5 millions, that's mean Qatar will control a major source of gas in all the Middle East. And they can control the price and they can control the influence. Same time, if Libya became a Muslim Brotherhood country, that's mean this country here have is going to provide crazy money for the Muslim Brotherhood. So it's not going to be only the support is not going to be only by Qatar. So Qatar will be a relief because now money will come from Libya. Libya is a rich country with oil and gas. So that will give a very big support to the Muslim Brotherhood so they can grow their influence all over Europe and slowly control Europe. They are buying, they are investing, you know, like their plan is bigger than what you think. The Muslim Brotherhood is bigger than anyone can imagine. It's a very well organized organization, and they have many names. They don't go everywhere and they call themselves Muslim Brotherhood. So they open branches like a Dawah team, charity organization. They have many names, but all of them they are Muslim Brotherhood. They are very well organized. They have ranks. They have militant. They have media. They have finance. They have. I mean, it is an empire. And this is what, or the reason, make Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Emirat sponsor this guy to free Tripoli, because if they really were able to control Libya, that will be a big problem for Egypt and maybe even destroy Egypt, because the money will become so big for Egypt to resist. They can buy a lot of citizens and they can start a civil war in Egypt. So this is why you will find now that when this guy is attacking Tripoli, he have a lot of enemies coming after him from the west, because Qatar right now will sharp all the teeth. All the journalists who work for Qatar, they are attacking him. He is an invader. He is a bad person. He is breaking peace. He is destroying Tripoli. He is destroying Libya. The fact he's not, because if he take over, that's it. He will take over Libya, and Libya will have peace again. So why they don't want to finish this war? It's exactly what's happening in Syria. In Syria right now, there's a territory protected by Turkey. Let us draw some lines here. Or let us say, let me open another map. Hold, give me a second. All right. This is Syria war map. You notice here the area red. This is full of Al Qaeda. You see this area here? This is Al Qaeda territory. Let us make it here. This is Al Qaeda territory protected by Turkey. The Syrian army, they cannot go in because Turkey will involve and will attack them. The Western government, they will not allow the Syrian army to attack Al Qaeda because obviously they are protecting Al Qaeda. But why they are protecting Al Qaeda? Because again, behind the protection is the Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar and Turkey. So you can say all the evil exists always behind the two countries, Turkey and Qatar. Trump, he said we finished the Muslim Brotherhood and now we are going to withdraw. But since when USA, their enemy is even ISIS. ISIS is something new. Al Qaeda is the enemy of USA. And as you see, there's hundreds of thousands of them still there. They control many cities. So why Trump he's saying we are done and we are finished? That's a lie. That is a big fat lie. But the purpose of this is very simple. Why Trump he need to fight Al-Qaeda? Why he need to give victory to the Syrian army and to the Iranian and to Hezbollah? Let them fight each other. Let them kill each other. Maybe this is the plan. And the rest of Europe, they take the side of Al-Qaeda for a very simple reason. Because Al-Qaeda is Qatar. And whatever Qatar want, Europe agree. So they draw a green line each time the Assad regime want to attack Al-Qaeda. Right away Europe, they warn the Syrian army that they are going to use a chemical weapon, which means we are going to attack them. And you ask yourself, why in the world Europe is going to, why they are defending Al-Qaeda? I mean, doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Everything happening there doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, it's a business, nothing personal. Europe, they don't really care for what's happening in Syria. They don't care for what's happening in Libya. What they care is for business. As simple as that. Turkey protecting Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is #1 lovers to Erdogan. Everybody know that. When Erdogan he attacked this area here, he used Al-Qaeda to attack the Kurdish, and this is the area he took it from the Kurdish. You see it in light blue. All this area he took it from the Kurdish by the help of Al-Qaeda. So the story is very simple. All the wars you see in the Middle East, behind it two major countries, Qatar and Emirat. And now the war in Libya is nothing different. It's the same. It is a war between those who are Muslim Brotherhood like Qatar and Emirat, Qatar and Turkey, and the enemy of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Qatar, Bahrain, Emirat, etc. So the war will go bigger and bigger as long nobody really is willing to stop it, and nobody want a winner. What you noticed in the West, that the West do not want a winner, and look like it's for their benefit to keep this country divided and to be in war forever. The same as in Syria. They don't want Syria to have to be back to the way it used to be before. So they don't want a winner. They want a war to continue. And Qatar is the most evil country in the world. Look, they destroy Syria. The Muslim Brotherhood, they claim that they want to build an Islamic, they defend Muslims, they love Muslims, but the fact, look what their war brought to Syria. Syria is totally destroyed. Constructions, buildings, houses, businesses, almost half of the country run away. Same as in Iraq. Nobody wants Iraq to have peace again. It's not for the benefit of anyone to have peace. Why? Because Iraqi, they need to keep buying weapons, they need to keep buying ammunition, they need always to spend all the money they make from oil, and buying stupid things is going to turn into rust. And the same for Libya. Nobody wants Libya to have a peace again. You know, Al-Qaddafi, he was killed a few years ago. Why until now there's war? Because simply Qatar and Turkey, they will not let this country go in peace unless it come either Muslim Brotherhood take over it, or you will never have peace. They try to do the same with Egypt, but the Egyptians, they were stronger than them and they kicked them out. So now we have two major countries, they are victims of the Muslim Brotherhood, Libya and Syria. So the map is going to be written by the victorious. Who is the one who will make victory in this war? If Haftar, this guy, he won the war, the Muslim Brotherhood, they are gone and they are history from Libya, and soon there will be history out of Libya. Erdogan, he's trying to buy time, hoping something will change, but nothing will change. His economy is collapsing. Even election, which usually, I mean, Erdogan, he lost election even in his city. Imagine, he lost the election even in the capital. He is now trying to gain Istanbul, and he is asking to recount in Istanbul because they lost in Istanbul. So Erdogan is collapsing. Qatar cannot spend too much money no more because it became so much. They are sponsoring Erdogan. They are sponsoring Muslim Brotherhood around the world, and they need Libya badly. It is a money back which can sponsor their project to take over and start an Islamic caliphate, but a caliphate based in the Muslim Brotherhood organization. And that will never happen. And actually, the Muslim Brotherhood almost they control, and they were, I mean, they are really smart. They were able to control and to take over, but let us say they made some mistakes when the Saudi government, they discovered the plan of the Muslim Brotherhood to take over Saudi Arabia, and then they did more investigation and they discovered the plan to control Emirat. Both countries, imagine it, guys. Emirat used to have uh, uh, between 7 to I think 7 or 8 ministers, including the ministers of education. They are Muslim Brotherhood. They are not hiding. They are like the organization there became so powerful to the point more than the half of the members of ministers are Muslims Brotherhood. So the Emirati, they sponsored them in the beginning. They thought this is just an Islamic organization working for the benefit of all this the Muslims. But when they discover the royal family, they discover that they have a queue getting ready to take over the whole country, and then they will join Qatar, and they are planning to take over Saudi Arabia and to make a queue in Saudi Arabia and to take over Saudi Arabia, and they were growing so fast. Then both of them, they have to take action, and they start arresting everyone who is a member in the Muslim Brotherhood. So, and then after what happened there, which is the biggest mistake for the Muslim Brotherhood, otherwise they will be really successful now. If they wait a few years more, and the Saudi and the Emirati did not discover their plan to take over, that's mean that they can take over all over the Middle East. That's it. They got Saudi Arabia, they got Emirat, they got all the money they want. And don't forget that right away after, before they discover, it was in the year, hold on, what year? Muslim Brotherhood, they won election. I think 12, something like that. I think 12 or 13, maybe 12. No, 2011, 2012, I think. So they won the election, imagine, because people, they were desperate. They are looking for somebody who is not corrupt. And the Muslim Brotherhood, they present themselves as the only religious group who they are not corrupt. So the Muslim Brotherhood, they took over Egypt. And then they started the war in Syria. Or let us say the war in Syria already was started, actually. So the plan was very simple. Turkey is Muslim Brotherhood. If the Muslim Brotherhood took over Syria, then they can take over Jordan, and already in Jordan more than 80% of population are Muslim Brotherhood, and they have already Egypt. So if they take over Saudi Arabia and Emirat, here we go, they have a caliphate. And then Libya, the Muslim Brotherhood was preparing themselves to take over, and this is why the stupid hilarious Clinton, when she went to Libya, she met only one person from the whole country of Libya who was the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, which means USA at that time under Obama, they were preparing Libya to be the coming Muslim Brotherhood country. And this way, the Muslim Brotherhood, they will have a huge map controlling all this territory, all the way from Europe. And not to forget to mention, by the way, that Tunisia, few years ago, the Muslim Brotherhood took over it. So they have Tunisia. Then the plan is to take Libya, and almost they were successful. This is Libya, and they won the election in Egypt. So they took Egypt. The plan is to take over Saudi Arabia, and if they take over Saudi Arabia, look what we have. And then they take over Emirat, and Qatar already is a Muslim Brotherhood. And then they go, and here we go to take over Jordan, and they take over Syria and Turkey already under Erdogan, which is the Muslim Brotherhood. So all of this will be a one Islamic state, and the target will be next is Israel. Israel will be dead, and they will attack from all direction. This was the plan, and Obama was helping. Uh, Everything was working perfectly for their benefit, but the mistake happened in Saudi Arabia when the Saudi discovered their queue against them, and then they start arresting them, and they start sponsoring anyone who is an enemy to the Muslim Brotherhood. Then the Muslim Brotherhood influence starts shrinking very fast, and from being very popular, they became rejected by millions and millions of Muslims. So they lost in Egypt, they kicked them out. They lost even in Jordan. They are not they don't have too much influence. And then they lost the war in Syria. But in Syria, they lost the war not because of Saudi Arabia, but because of the Russian. And Turkey now is collapsing anyway. Saudi Arabia is doing everything in its hand to make Turkey economy collapse, and Trump is not helping too. He is really few tweets. He destroyed half of the Turkish economy. So now there is only three places for Muslim Brotherhood in this world, and those are located in those territory. Little tiny city here is called Tripoli, and what around it, and this is the capital of Libya. Little tiny island in the size of a house, it's called Qatar, and then a big country is called Turkey. That's it. So now if Haftar he kick out the Muslim Brotherhood from Libya, that's mean the Muslim Brotherhood, they are kicked out from all of North Africa almost forever. They lost election in Tunisia, they are out of Libya, they are out of Egypt, and that's it. And the only place for them left is Qatar, and Qatar is so small it might collapse anytime. Erdogan, he will not stay there, and I am sure that Turkey is going to change. Turkish people, they will suffer badly because of this man Erdogan. Already they are suffering. So the news is not good for the Muslims Brotherhood, and this is why you see that all Western news and medias, they are attacking badly the guy who is attacking the Muslims Brotherhood. I did not find any news speaking good about this man, when the fact this man is saving Libya from the filth of the Muslims Brotherhood. And by the way, it doesn't mean that he is not a Muslim. This guy is a Muslim, and there's many Islamists, they are fighting under his command, but he is cleaning Libya from the Muslims Brotherhood. This is the whole story. This is the whole story. Here is the US army. They are leaving Libya and taking all the employees of the embassy with them, in the sea, because the city is not safe no more. All right. Now, always you want to see who is supporting who, just listen to the news. Just listen to the news. Those are the enemy of Haftar. They are sending their troops to fight against him. This guy here is an idiot. Anyway, so I just wanted to share this news with you, and just to put a light in what's happening, so you will not be misled. because always what they say to you in the news is totally different from what is true. For me, I prefer this man to win the war, and I hope he will. And I hope he will kick out all the Muslim Brotherhood from Libya, and that will make Libya a lot better country for all. And I wish the best for all those people who live in Libya to have peace. As long there is divided governments and there's many armies and there's many militant, this country will never have peace. So it's for their benefit to have one government, one leader, and that's it. And always I see the world go always in the wrong direction. Always they present to you the criminal as he is a victim and the victim as a criminal. United Nations is against this guy. That's mean this guy is good, right? Uh, for sure, you don't have to agree with me, but this person obviously he is destroying the plan of many corrupt organization and corrupt leaders in the world. Money always talk, you know. Uh, I never saw in the media news anything right. Like, I was watching the news about Syria as an example. When the Muslims are shelling over Christian areas, the Western media, they were saying that they were defending themselves. When the Muslims, they attack our churches and they burn them down, and they have videos. The Western media, they says the rebel today, they free a territory from the Assad regime. What Assad regime? Those are Christian villages. Never. And the Muslim, they say the Western media is against them. I never saw a Western media is against Islam or against Muslims. It is the opposite. If you speak against Muhammad, they call us Islamophobia. If you speak against Islam, they call us Islamophobia. If anything happen in the world, they blame what is called Islamophobia. When the fact, we are the victims. We get killed, but yet we are the criminals. They slaughter us, they take our churches, they take our houses, they take our towns, they killed hundreds of people in Nigeria every day, and yet at the end of the day, you are the bad person because you have no right to speak against Islam. All Western media always they sponsored the faith of Islam. And that is telling you that Western media is the last one to listen to and to get a news from. Don't fool yourself and think those are not Islamic media. Those people, they have no dignity and they don't care for God, they don't care for the truth, they care for money. Pay and then we will talk. Yeah, the Prince of Qatar, right away he met 2 days ago with the foreign minister of Russia asking for their help. Why not? You see, money, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? This guy, because he is fighting the Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar, they bribe. How much you want Russia? We will send you $500 million just for an opinion, just for a vote in the United Nation, just a vote. You want 500 million? He will go 500 million. They make money more than poo-poo. Money come from the ground non-stop. So everything is for sale for Putin. For Putin is the one who wanna grant him his rights. It doesn't matter who. For him, all of them, they are the same. You see, for the Russian, they are far away from Libya. So anyone will grant them their place in Libya, they will support him, doesn't matter who. The Prince of Qatar, he was an enemy to Russia a few years ago. But when he noticed that Russia became a very extremely important country and nobody can jump over it, now he is kissing the ass of Putin to the point he gave him even the keys of Damascus. So, many of you think about it as, like, for me, we think about it based on what's right, what's wrong. But countries, news agencies, TV stations, they don't care. The first job as a civil job I did in my life, it was to fix Arabic grammar, etc. in a newspaper. And then I saw how hilarious it is. For a few months they are attacking Al-Qaddafi every day. Every day Al-Qaddafi is a terrorist. Al-Qaddafi, he was terrorism, he sponsored terrorists, he sponsored the Irish, he sponsored blah blah blah, he is beyond Lockerbie attack. And then suddenly the newspapers start talking about Al-Qaddafi as if he's God. The Qaddafi, he gave their women rights. The Qaddafi, he gave the women the right to be in the army. Every day an article about how wonderful Al-Qaddafi. So I spoke to the editor. I said, what happened? We were attacking this guy for the last 3 months. He said, we received a check yesterday. We received a check yesterday from the embassy. So those media is like a barking dog. They bark at you, especially if you are rich. They keep barking, 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 ho, 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 until you pay him. You have to put a bone in there. Don't you know what they want? They want a bone. So you give them a bone, and then they start, instead of barking at you, they bark for you. This is reality. The guy was not only, by the way, not only about politics. You know, I was fixing an article about the how harming drinking coffee. How harming what? Drinking coffee. 2 weeks, 3 weeks every day, an article, and they put it inside like the scientists from Japan or from China, from blah blah blah. They put names, nobody knows where they are coming from, which obviously fabricated. That if you drink coffee, you will die fast, etc. And then after that, suddenly they start speaking the opposite about the benefit of drinking tea and how you know, like in the beginning the coffee will kill you and the tea will help you, and then after that they switch that tea can cause cancer, tea can have etc. material. So what happened? I found later that all those articles sponsored by either tea company or coffee company. So if the coffee company sponsor you, you attack the tea. If the tea companies they sponsor you, you attack the coffee. And you think those are people, they have really doctors working there, and they are giving you real articles and real studies, but the fact have nothing to do with any science. It's just an article to fool you and to make you buy or not to buy. And you read an article in news agency and you think, oh, the doctor, his name is Shish Kebab Hummus, he said if you drink more than 2 cups of tea a day, that will cause you a cancer. So what do you do now? Okay, I will drink, I will need to drink, I cannot drink tea. What I will drink? I will drink coffee. This is how they can they redirect you even in what you buy and what you want, what not to buy. So news agencies are really the devil. They try to control even your stomach, what you eat, what you would not eat, not only what politics. They have no God, they have no dignity, everything is for sale. Pay me and I will make you God. You don't pay me, I will make you a devil. So don't listen to what they say, try to find out yourself. And for me, like, no, I'm reading now New York Times. New York Times defended Khashoggi as no one ever. Khashoggi, we want Khashoggi killers. We want the one who slaughtered Khashoggi, as if Khashoggi is an American citizen and he is beloved by all America. The guy, he is a terrorist. Khashoggi, he is a friend of Osama bin Laden. He have pictures with him holding RPG. Khashoggi is a member of Al Qaeda. Khashoggi is the closer friend for the founder of Al Qaeda. Why everybody is, you know, because he is a Muslim Brotherhood and he is sponsored by Qatar. As simple as that. Did you ask yourself why Khashoggi went to Turkey? Because Muslim Brotherhood is there, they are controlling. He feels safe there. So he said to himself, okay, I am in Turkey, what they can do to me? This is a Muslim Brotherhood country. If they want to arrest me, they will take me through the airport. Erdogan will not let them. But he never thought if you go inside the embassy, they will make him shish kebab. Right? Jamal Khashoggi, the one they say he is a journalist. The guy is not a journalist. Since when he is a journalist? This guy is a intelligent agent. He was working for the Saudi intelligence, and he was a member of Al Qaeda. He was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, and he is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. Suddenly became journalist. You see, they give you a title as they wish. Journalist, this guy is a journalist. A spy is a journalist. He worked in the Saudi embassy. He was an assistant for the ambassador. He never been a journalist. A journalist was a job was given to him by the Saudi to cover his spy activities. So always, don't take what they say to you. And like, if I read now this title here, right away you will see like, okay, look, this guy, if he attack, he will strengthen the Islamic State. How is that? How if this guy take over the Islamic State will be strong? How is that? Explain to me. That's stupid. This is a lie. And look who is the writer. The writer is Frederick and Jeffrey. So the writers are not Muhammad Ali and not Abdul. So when you read, you don't suspect that there's something fishy behind. It's not a Muslim writing the article. But the answer is very simple. So always be careful and don't take what they say to you for granted, because simply all is a scam. All is a lie. And look, when they speak about war, look, they put for you a picture of two kids playing with this car, and look what this war did to them. But this is not really reality. If you go in Libya, this is a rich country. Nobody is dying and nobody is hungry. Even now, the people of Libya, they go and they live in 5 stars hotels all over Asia. There's many people who flee from Libya, still they receive their salary from the government. A lot of money. But always they show you in pictures that look at the picture they choose. I suppose this is how people in Libya their life. Those are kids are playing. And this car have nothing to do with the war. What does this have to do with the war? Does it sound like it's burned? Obviously, it's an old car. Nobody care for it. So they try to fool you. They try to present to you a news which is not a news. It is a political agenda. And because you do not know, you believe whatever they say. How you know? Even USA embassy is fooling us. But I understand the USA embassy in Tripoli, now they are under the control of the Muslim Brotherhood. So they might say something which is suitable for the position they are in. Maybe they will change what they will say a few days from now. As I know, almost this guy, he controlled half of the city. The 7G, seven great countries, and I don't know what is great about them. Canada and France and Germany and Italy and Japan and United Kingdom and USA. Those are the 7G. What is great about them? I do not know. The great about them that we have corrupt government who always take the side of the wrong one. They take the side of the wrong one, and now they are against this man Haftar, the great G. I mean, that's it. What we can say. But why? If you ask them why, they will not tell you why. I mean, Libya is divided, Libya in war for many years. Why you don't want this guy to take over? Shouldn't one guy take over at the end of the day? They will never agree. They are Arab, or they are, let us say, Muslims. They will never agree about anything. Politics is not really business. Always those people, one take over and one he lose. There is no democracy and will never be democracy there. Not by the one who is there, not by the one is coming. So they try to fool us and they try to present to us G foreign minister's statement in the situation in Libya. We, the foreign ministers in Canada, France, Germany, blah 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 blah, we condemn blah 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 the attack on Tripoli. Why? Same as the United Nations, the same garbage, the same garbage. Always when Western medias, even Western government, they say this is good, it's mean it's bad. This is how always I see it. What is right is wrong, and what is wrong is right. Libya now is the biggest center of slavery in the world. Look here. This is Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, they posted for us a picture to show you that what this guy he did. Look at this. Those are African are hostage in Libya by the Muslim Brotherhood. But what the title is? The title is by Al Jazeera TV, detained refugee terrified as it clashes near Tripoli. My friend, can you tell me why they are detained refugee in Libya? They are not coming to Libya. Why you detain them? They detain them. They dig tunnels for the army. They build like ambush. They build walls, be like so, like so the army can prepare forward. They use them for free work slaves, and the girls they take them, separate them, and they read them. Go and read. The biggest center for slavery in the world is the one controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood in Libya. So why the European government they are sponsoring them? But look what the news says. The news says that they are refugee who they are terrified. They are terrified. Can you tell me how you can make people sit like this unless you are forcing them? Like they are in prison, you know what I mean? They will not sit like this. This is like they are prisoners, obviously. And actually, even the title says detained, which means they are in jail. Why? Either send them back to their country or let them go where they are going. Why they are detained? Send them back. The one is coming from Ethiopia, send him back to Ethiopia. Why you detain him? They will not let them go because it's a free slavery, and girls are free sex, and even they are making porn about them. They are asking for ransom. They are asking for money. They force the man to have sex with his sister. They are coming together, refugee. They force him to have sex with his sister, and then they contact the family and they say, we have a tape of your son having sex with his sister. If you don't give us a certain money, we are going to release it in the internet. One of the biggest business in Libya. Yeah, they force. You can read the articles about it. They force the guy, like you are coming with your sister as a refugee. They bring you and they say, if you don't have sex with her, we will kill you and we will kill her. And they record you. And then they will contact your family. You have your phone. They contact your family and they say to them, you have, let us say, 30 days. Either you pay etc. money, you send it to us, or we are going to release this tape. They send them a small file. Your son having sex with his sister. This is what European government are sponsoring. Those criminals. And all the excuse is keep peace. What peace? Keep peace. This is the peace we want. A slavery land in the you know, if those European leaders are decent, if Trump himself is decent, he should have an invasion and free those people. If this is not a reason to have an invasion, what is the reason then to make money? When 50 people they got killed in New Zealand, the whole world they cry, look at those people, they are dead. What do you mean they are detained? For how many years they are detained? They have, guys, they have people detained there for 7-8 years already. They are detained for 8 years. For how long he will stay there? This guy, this poor guy, he will be detained for what? Always everything wrong have good title in Western media, the same as Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is an Islamic agency run by the Muslim Brotherhood by the Prince of Qatar. Any title in Al Jazeera is nothing but a scam. It is the biggest filthy hate TV station in the world. Actually, me myself was the reason behind the closing Al Jazeera Mubashar in USA. After USA hunt the rabbit Osama bin Laden, and they throw him to the fish, and may Allah forgive the dolphins and the shark who ate him. Al Jazeera Mubashar, which is mean the Jazeera Direct, which mean people they call live on air and they can talk. They open like a live broadcast to take let us say a phone call from the Muslims around the world who they are condemning the killing of Osama bin Laden, and they are asking for a threat and revolution and to kill American life in TV. I recorded them and I send me myself, and I say that in public. I send that to every USA security agencies, everyone, FBI, you name it. In less than 48 hours after, Al Jazeera TV was shut down and they've been kicked out of USA. The program in Arabic, and supposedly they thought, okay, nobody will report us. They were calling, guys, imagine they are calling and seeking, we will take revenge, brother, we will take revenge. And the host, he says, I mean to that, brother. So what do you want to say to us about killing our brother Osama bin Laden? This is Al Jazeera. They are calling Osama bin Laden our brother, our hero, in Arabic. This is Al Jazeera. And they have a branch for them in all over Europe, and they have a studio, and they have employee who they are European. The whole point of the Jazeera is to penetrate your mind and your society. It is the arm, the political arm, the media arm of the Muslims Brotherhood. So I hope that this guy Haftar will take over and he will control the city, and that will be a good news for people in Libya, for anyone who love peace, and to get rid of the Muslim Brotherhood who they are really destroying every place they go to. So let us hope that this guy is going to win the war, and all those who they are trying to stop him, they will fail, including USA and Europe. This is my wish and this is my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me. I want to say thank you for being here, guys. May the Lord bless you, and I will see you again. This video is not really important to download, it's just politics, but feel free to watch it, and it's not going to stay long in my page as usual. Thank you very much for being here. May the Lord bless you. Christ is Lord and Islam is false. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.